Hey guys, it's John with Influicity. Today we're talking all about influencer pricing and getting a return on your investment. I'm Jonathan Davids and this is hashtag Ask Influicity. One of the most common questions we get at Influicity is all about pricing. Clients want to know, what should we pay influencers? What are they worth? How am I going to know that I'm going to get a return on my investment? And a lot of the time, it's about trial and error. I wrote a really popular article. It got a lot of reads on LinkedIn. It was published on Media in Canada as well for all of our Canadian friends out there, talking all about influencer pricing. You can go to the LinkedIn link at the bottom of this video, check it out. But just a really quick highlight from that article. What you got to think about is formulas based on established media metrics. So we all know what television advertising costs, we know what magazine advertising costs, we know what radio costs and outdoor, and for some reason we think that influencer marketing is a brand new thing. But if you look at the formulas, the CPMs, the CPVs, the cost per engagement, whatever your metric is, you can build a formula from there and engineer your own rate card. So I highly encourage you to check out that article. Let's get into the questions right now. Question number one. What's your take on giving influencers free product instead of money? This is a really common thing that new businesses, startups, even some PR agencies love doing, and it's giving influencers free stuff instead of money. The truth is, it can work fine for influencers who are just starting out and influencers who are in very competitive categories where it's tough for them to get a payday. What we've seen in general is that influencers who are established are going to ask for money regardless, even if you're giving them a free trip, something of high value, an electronic good, for example, especially if they have agents or managers, they're going to need a payday as well. If you're going to offer just something for free, you've got to do it in a way that is sort of sensitive to that influencer's needs. So what I'd recommend is look at what they're talking about, look what they're filming, look where they're filming, and offer them something that really has value to them. If you're selling shampoo, is an influencer going to do a full video for a bottle of shampoo? Maybe not, but maybe there's something else you can give them. Maybe it's a makeover, or maybe it's a trip somewhere. So you've got to be sensitive to what the influencer's needs are and if you can really provide value. But as you scale and as you work with more in-demand influencers, you are definitely going to have to pony up some cash. Question number two. We offered an influencer $1,000 for a post on Instagram, and she came back asking for $2,500 with no explanation. What should we say? This is something that influencers do and managers do. I mean, they're going to always try to get more money. It's no different from negotiating in any other capacity. What you have to make sure of is that when you make an influencer an offer, you're not choosing an arbitrary price. It has to be based on something. So maybe it's a formula based on how many subscribers they have, or how many average views they have, or what you've paid other similar influencers. But when you're offering them $1,000, frankly, it sounds like kind of a made-up number that you pulled out of thin air, and they come back with an equally made-up number, that they're just doing their job. And that's how they're going to respond. So I would sort of take a step back and say, what is this influencer worth? Let's put this in a spreadsheet and figure it out. And then when they come back to you asking for more money, you can reasonably say to them, hey, here's the formula that we did our calculations on. What did you base your counteroffer on? And you can have a dialogue from there. All right, question number three. Do you see influencer prices coming up or going down in the future? Just like any market, the cream rises to the top and prices tend to go up over time until they hit a peak. I don't think we're anywhere near that. I think that the inflated prices, influencers making $1,000 one day, $10,000 the next, and then $50,000 the next, which we've seen happen, I think those days maybe are numbered because advertisers, ad agencies, PR reps, they're getting much smarter. So they're not just willing to pony up any amount of money that you ask for. But again, I do think that there's a real market here, and it's a big market, and there's a market really where supply and demand are really not where they need to be. There's way too much demand for a very select number of influencers, and there's not nearly enough demand for a lot of influencers where there really could be some effective work done. Advertisers are often drawn to the biggest names and the shiniest people out there. So I think that over time, prices will level off. Will they come down? I think that for some influencers, they'll come down where they're inflated and they'll go up for others. But I think that you'll definitely see a leveling. But you know what? It's still early days. It could be quite a while still. Thanks very much, guys. Make sure to follow us across social media at Influicity on Twitter. We have a new channel as well. Make sure you check it out. It's at Influicity2, and that's specifically for marketers, media pros, people in the industry. Across all other media at Influicity. Of course, tweet your questions for Ask Influicity. You'll be on the next episode, maybe. Hashtag Ask Influicity on Twitter. And of course, check us out online at Influicity.com. We'll talk to you soon.